And welcome to the 42nd episode of Communication is an Art. I'm Pam Lippitt, your host, bringing you lots of tips and ideas for communicating in a better way as you move forward through your career. Today's my brother's birthday, so I'm saying happy birthday. I wonder if he'll ever listen to my podcast and know I said happy birthday. We're going to dive in quickly because I have something that's been percolating the last few days. I've seen a few things where people write that small talk is kind of nonsense and it's not good and you don't need small talk, and I have to tell you, I could not disagree more. I think that small talk is what leads to big talk. And while I was thinking about this, I was thinking about LinkedIn connection requests. If people come in with a request to connect that's deep dive into what they can quote unquote do for me and what I can teach you and I can do for you without ever saying hello or learning about me or having some kind of LinkedIn messaging conversation, I'm out the door. I have no interest. And that's my idea about small talk. Small talk really gives us a lot of information. You know, it can tell us what someone does, how long they've been there, what the challenges they may be facing, what excites them about work. You can learn personal cues, clues, things like hobbies and sports teams. You know, I always manage to throw in Go Blue no matter what I'm talking about. So people know that about me. But there's all these kind of things. What organizations have you been involved in? It doesn't mean it's the tell me about yourself question. Okay, we're always bored with that. But if someone knows I'm a communication consultant and that's all they know about me, I'm one of hundreds, thousands, whatever. But if they know I'm a communication consultant who really wants to help leaders communicate more effectively, and I'm a huge Michigan fan, now I've made a connection on different levels. They know really what I want to do. And that, to me, is a much better way to look at a conversation. I was thinking that other things that let's say someone is a Knicks fan, right? I'm talking about this today, so that's a good thing to talk about today. I did not watch the piece, but someone talking about it. You know, if I know they're a Knicks fan, today is a perfect day to go back to them if I'm trying to take this small talk bigger and say, wow, congratulations on those Knicks. Did you go to the parade? Did you watch the parade? What are you thinking? And I hope the Pistons are right behind you next year. Those are things that take the conversation to the next level. But if the small talk hasn't taught me that they like the Knicks, I don't have that next piece to grab onto and create the relationship. Small talk can be about creating that relationship that is not transactional, but is real, that people want to reconnect with you because of something you like. So someone could come back to me, and trust me, people have come back to me and said, okay, my daughter just got into Michigan, or my son just got into Michigan. What is the one thing I should tell them to go see? So my answer to that is always go to the top of anything. My favorite place on campus is the top floor of the grad library, where you can get pretty much a panoramic view of Michigan. It used to be of Ann Arbor. It used to be better, but they've made some offices, which I really don't like that they've done that. But the top floor of any of those tall buildings, including going to the top floor, the outside roof deck of a parking garage, is a phenomenal view. And I bet it's a phenomenal view other places too. So I'd be interested to know, what's one place you've been where you've had a spectacular view? I have to say that there is a viewing spot in Israel of the old city in Jerusalem where you see the whole old city. There really is nothing like that view in the world. Ann Arbor, okay, I'll be real, is a distant second, but it's something important. So remembering those items in that small talk. I think I've talked before about when I leave an event with either a business card or, notes, I often sit down in my car after a networking event and write out a couple notes about people that I met of things I want to remember, because that really gives you that jump off point to deeper conversations, to creating those ongoing bits and pieces of your life. And all of a sudden you turn around and you're actually in a good business relationship that will last for decades, or randomly, commonly, you actually create a friendship. And I will give a shout out to my actual friend, Brenda Meller of Meller Marketing, who I met randomly by following her on LinkedIn for a lot of advice she gives about LinkedIn. That led to a lot of free advice, which turned into me feeling a little guilty. And so I paid for a course because I was thinking, I'm getting such free stuff, I really should invest, which turned into a coffee meeting at the end of COVID, which turned into a different dinner event and a different thing and this and that, until I can say, we have truly become friends. She will say it too. And such friends that next week we are driving to the Innovation Women Live Friday Friends in Chicago together. We're staying together, we're traveling together, doing together. And it is based on a friendship that probably I would say, and she would say too, started with small talk. So don't let small talk deter you, folks. Just use wise small talk. Wise ideas, not how was your day or tell me about yourself. Okay, that's kind of boring. Figure out the good things to ask, the ask that will create memorable answers and propel you forward. So today is a shorter little segment than usual, but I was able to give a shout out to Brenda Meller, to Innovation Women, and Bobbie Carlton, who I'll put down in the show notes in case you want to get in touch with them too. And that for me is a wrap today. I hope this small talk will lead to you reaching out to me, connect with me on LinkedIn, tell me you've heard this podcast. You know what? People are starting to say that to me. I heard your podcast. It makes me so excited. Please be one of those people. All right, I'll stop begging now and tell you to have a great week until we meet again. Bye from Communication is an Art. I wanted to share with you a new offering from my company, Pam Lippitt Communications. I'm actually offering a communications audit. So who is this for? It's for a company, a nonprofit, where there's new leadership, new board members, or new senior hires who may not be up to speed and are seeing different things when they're looking at different pieces of paper, because really it's the new people who are really diving in and looking at things. It could be because you have new programs or new clients or new services, and you want to give them a consistent message about your company. It may be that people are asking the same questions all the time. That means you should be answering it in your materials so they don't have to ask. And it's also if you're seeing internal frustrations among your team. Maybe they don't have the right materials they need. So if you're interested in a communications audit for your company, I am giving a bonus for anyone who mentions hearing this on the podcast. Not only will I do a communication audit of your materials, but I'll also come in person or via Zoom and meet with your team to go over all the materials as we start and as we finish to make sure everyone's on the same page. So with that, shoot me a text or an email if you're interested, and I am happy to reach out and discuss how your communications can be smoother, more concise, and lead to more business. Thank you.